everyone, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is going to be a reading for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the new moon in Libra, which is happening on October 6th. Now, this reading is intended to carry you through the week, as the energies of the moon don't just come and go on the one day. We experience them before and after. So as you move through your week, bearing in mind that the sun and the moon are in Libra, so that's really going to bring on a very powerful spiritual alignment, because the sun and the moon sort of represent our external and our internal self respectively. So seeing them in a conjunction really suggests that we're going to have a powerful alignment between the internal and the external self. So it could be a time where you're really starting to bring some balance into a situation. Now, Mercury is also in retrograde, so of course that adds a complication where you're going to find that you might be thinking about the past, okay? So in order to sort of stay focused, it's going to be important to set your sights on your goals and to create a foundation that is based on that balance that you create between your external and internal self. So what are some of the themes here for Gemini as they move through their week in this energy of the new moon? Okay, we have believe in the impossible, blue moon, and the energy is gaining momentum, waxing moon. Interesting. So believe in the impossible because the energy is gaining momentum. Very interesting, Gemini. Gemini, I feel like, is going to change their life completely this year. Every reading I do for Gemini seems to point to a radical life change that is by choice and design and fueled by intuition and purpose and passion. I feel like Gemini is going to make their own dreams come true any day now. It's been building, truly. The energy is gaining momentum. And believe in the impossible, because I feel like Gemini even thinks this could be impossible. So it's important to believe that. Believe in the impossible as you move forward. Now, let's see what will be supporting Gemini as they sort of gain momentum on something that has been long shifting now for quite some time. Okay. Passion. I knew it. Yes. Find your bliss, release shame, heal emotional blocks, explore sacred sensuality, and live passionately. I'm telling you, the Geminis are operating from a place of deep, deep passion for a long time now, since the spring. I have been seeing that in their readings for Sun, Moon, Rising. Gemini is really trying to purposefully produce something that they feel completely connected to and passionate about. It's a very interesting time for Gemini. All the readings I've been doing for Gemini have been pointing to something gaining momentum, and I think that it's Gemini's making this happen for themselves. This is really fueled by their passion. This is something like, I keep imagining the idea of someone like completely changing their lives, and for some reason I keep imagining someone opening up a flower shop. I don't know who's doing that, but I feel like that's someone's dream, to open up a flower shop. And that right now they're the furthest thing from that dream, because they're doing something much more corporate or something much more, I don't know, different, maybe bureaucratic even, but all this person wants to do is open up a flower store. I don't know who this person is, but I keep seeing your little shop in my mind every time I read for Gemini. Okay, so let's see what the story is here. Jump right into the tarot and see what is the main story here for these Geminis who are needing to believe in the impossible because of their energy gaining momentum towards something here. Okay. Gemini. Okay, Gemini, interesting. I think things are gaining momentum because of the amount of emotion I see in your reading. I see emotion and overthinking about outcomes that you don't want. You know, you're worrying, right? You've got outcomes here that you're worrying about, which are starting to sort of creep into your mind a lot. Like, you're really top of mind for you right now is this idea of, I'm terrified of what the outcomes could be. And this is sort of like really seeing all the things that could go wrong in a situation. And that is being driven here. We see the moon driving your reading, and it's taking your confidence down a little bit here. Okay, the moon is really taking your confidence down here a little bit because of its unknown. You're being asked to embrace the unknown at a time where you're feeling like it's really hard, right? Like, we don't see this card because everything is easy. Look at the guidance on here. This is no short list, right? To find your bliss, release your shame. That's no easy feat. Healing emotional blocks, exploring the sacred sexual, and living passionately. Okay, so that suggests, if this is your guidance that's going to support you through this shift, then that suggests to me, Gemini, that you're at the place here where things are starting to really ramp up. We see the energy is gaining momentum, and as a result, you're being asked to have faith in the impossible because things are starting to get challenging now. You could be on the ground running, okay? And I say that because I see that you may have sort of gotten to the place where you've got your blueprint for this new plan that you have. And as a result, you're struggling a little bit here because there may be some collaborations holding you back, partnerships holding you back, emotional dualities holding you back. This could be the idea that you need to find your bliss, okay? You may have gotten to the place here where you're overworking and you have disconnected from the passion. You've disconnected potentially from the passion because you're overwhelmed with how much you have to do right now. You're overwhelmed. The energy, as it gains momentum, may be providing you with opportunities to release shame through setbacks, right? You may have to go through some setbacks in order to understand that setbacks aren't the end of the world. Does that make sense, Gemini? Sometimes things come along to show us that the thing that we thought was going to be worst case scenario and terrifying, actually it's fine. We've got it. You know, you're doubting your confidence in the ability to overcome challenges. You're doubting yourself. You're doubting yourself big time here. And it's because there are some unknown factors that you've come into contact with here that are sort of giving you maybe some surprises along the way as you try to get this thing off the ground that you're working on so passionately. But I feel like you need to re-find that passion. I feel like you've gotten sort of stuck in the energy of dotting your I's and crossing your T's. You know what I mean? And that has created a nightmare in your mind of obstacles that may or may not actually exist. They may just be emotional blocks that you need to heal, right? You just might have some emotional blocks that need to be healed, and you know, not to say just, but it might not be the nightmare that you think it is right now. You know what I mean? Now, the outer shell of yourself is suggesting that you are surrounded by people who really have your back, right? Like, your outer expression of yourself is that you have a solid group of people helping you, maybe investors, maybe collaborators, maybe friends, family, whatever, but they're on your side and they're supporting you. And so it must appear in the external world that you're confident and well supported, but man, like I said, internally, that's not how you're feeling at all. In fact, on the internal feeling in the recent past, this whole thing was started because you started to feel kind of bored. So you went from feeling bored to inspired to terrified to no confidence, right? Like, it's interesting. But this all started because you started to get really bored with everything going on. You started to feel like you weren't living passionately. You weren't connected to anything bringing you real bliss. Like, you didn't feel connected to your purpose, right? And emotionally, you started to feel kind of blah, a little bored, a little like life is so predictable. And meanwhile, here there's an opportunity that life started to hand you to be like, well, hey, if you want, we could do this. And so somehow you got yourself to the place where you decided to do it. And you're running into some obstacles that are creating some opportunities for you to release emotional blocks and shame. And I say that purposefully that way. These things are not these things that you think they are. They're not the worst case scenario. They're things designed to teach you to overcome certain things that are holding you back. Okay? So they're happening right on time, right? As the energy gains momentum, these things happen to get you to believe in the impossible and to get you to believe in things that you thought you weren't capable of, but that really it was just an emotional block expressing itself as an obstacle for you to release the shame around it so that you could live passionately. Like, it's all connected, right? So it's interesting. In the upcoming energy, again, you're this change that you want, you're in resistance of it, and you're almost denying the expression of the new you that's trying to come through. And this is this is saying, I want my life to change, but I don't want anything to change in my life. Right? It doesn't make any sense. But we all do this. You know, we all do this. We're like, oh, I wish my life was different. And then when shit starts changing, we freak out, right? So this is sort of funny to me because I do this all the time where I want things in my life to shift. But then when they start to shift, we panic because, you know, our ego really likes to be comfortable, and our ego really likes things to stay habitually good. It doesn't like obstacles or challenges that remove shame. It likes to be in its comfort zone and have you just keep feeding it insatiably, right? And so you're sort of sitting in a place right now where, yeah, that's the vibe. Like, moving forward, you're sort of like, I want my life to change, but I don't want anything around me to change. But it's an inevitable consequence of what you're doing here, Gemini, you know? And I think that that's really the key here, is that you want change, but you're afraid of it. That idea of what I just said in the death card applies right here with the tower because of where the tower falls in your reading. It falls in the place of what you want, but what you're afraid of. You want change, but you're afraid of it. You want truth, but you're afraid of it. Not because you're a scaredy cat, it's just that you're not feeling like you can overcome it. If it's too much change at once, you're not feeling like you can overcome understanding truth over illusion. You're feeling like to find your bliss, and that's going to involve some big shifts, and you're not sure. You want them, but you're not sure. You're not sure of the path to getting there, right? You know that it's choice time. You know it's time to choose. Are you going to defend this vision where the energy is gaining momentum and it's very passionate? It's that flower store, right, that you want to open. I don't know whose flower store that is, but it's that, or it's like you're going to just settle back into a pattern where you're not really moving forward and you're not living passionately. And so I think the guidance you're getting is probably the clearest one of all the readings I've done today. You need to surrender to this beautiful full moon here and believe in the impossible. Look at that. It's a blue moon, and there's the moon card in tarot, which also looks a shade of blue. So here we are. Believe in the impossible. Don't be afraid of the unknown. Embrace it. Hello, unknown. You're different than what I'm living right now, and I want change. So let's do this. Let's go. I believe in divine timing. I believe that my intuition is always going to guide me towards my higher self, even if I need to experience opportunities that allow me to release shame and emotional blocks. And that might feel uncomfortable, but the energy is gaining momentum here. This waxing moon energy wants you to keep going. Keep going, Gemini. I'm going to leave it at that. Wow. That was intense. I feel like I need to to release something now. It's interesting. That was very intense. Okay, so we'll leave it at that. If this reading has resonated for you and you would like a personal reading, my email's in the description below. And as always, thank you so much for liking, subscribing, and watching. And we'll see you again very soon for another reading. Sending you lots of love and light, my friends. Have a wonderful week.